And Dan, William Darby has been booked into the Madison County Jail. That happened at 3:42. Moments after that sentence came down here in the courtroom up on the 8th floor inside this courthouse on the square here in Madison County. Several people lined up, including former law enforcement officers who worked with Darby. His wife, who is a police officer in Decatur, spoke on his behalf, and then we heard from William Darby. Today, the defense saying his friends and family call him Ben, and that's what they called him in the courtroom today. The prosecutors in this case asked for 25 years, plus all the fees to be paid. It could have been anything between 20 and a life sentence. The judge taking that recommendation for 25 years and issuing the sentence here today. We just spoke to Darby's defense team downstairs just moments ago. They say that they have already signaled that they will file an appeal in this case. A lot to unpack here. We'll continue to bring you coverage throughout the evening. Reporting live in Huntsville, Matt Kroschel, Way 31 News.
Thanks very much, Matt. We want to go outside the courthouse now, where the friends and family of victim Jeffrey Parker are gathering now to speak to reporters to react to that 25-year sentence. Let's listen in.
The criminal justice system, at least in the criminal part, it worked. There was a indictment, there was a fair trial, there was a jury verdict, and today we had a sentencing that we felt like was appropriate. 25 years that we believe will serve the purpose of what's happened in this case. We understand it's a tough position to sentence a law enforcement officer, but we feel like it will send the appropriate message. The defense for Mr. Darby said otherwise, that it would send the wrong message, and we take a lot of issue with that. We feel like the good officers will approve of that, which most officers are good. This is a rare situation, but we feel like it'll promote accountability and transparency. So we're pleased with that part of it. Since this case has been going on, Darby and the city of Huntsville have not taken responsibility for what happened. That's something we want to address. He was still getting paid even after the verdict. Didn't get terminated. He resigned on his own, essentially, like somebody would that had been working for 25, 30 years and just, says, I'm going to retire. I mean, this is a guy that was only on the force for 18 months. And, he had senior officers in this particular case, have been there much longer, that had de-escalated the situation, resolved it. And, we're here today because Darby acted inappropriately. He murdered this man. I mean, it was nothing less. It wasn't just a shooting. He wasn't within his duties. He murdered Jeffrey Parker, and his family is sad, and we can't bring him back. And so the only thing we can do is march forward. We're looking at the civil case. We're starting the discovery process, and we can move forward full throttle. We hope that the body cam footage that was shown during the jury, we hope that'll be released as well, and that's something that we'll talk about in all these cases, that we need more transparency and accountability. So we're asking that those videos be released. They will help provide accountability. This didn't stop with Jeffrey Parker. We've had numerous instances with the police department in Huntsville. We had the shooting of Crystal Ragland, another a veteran that happened a year later, a mentally ill individual, and we're going to talk about that in a minute. We had the riots, the protests, the way that the city responded, that spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on a report, and they still haven't done anything. So it didn't stop there. There was Camonte Hobbs, who was stomped. That video's, mentally ill individual while at a Mapco gas station. So we're dealing with that case. There's been other reports and calls we've gotten. So part of what we want to do is also just reiterate and ask for the Justice Department to look at what's going on in Huntsville in terms of the treatment. They've taken an interest in other cities. We talk about what's happened in places like Baltimore, Louisville, Minneapolis, and right here in Huntsville, they decided on their own they wanted to change. That's not happened in Huntsville with the leadership, so we're asking them to show courage like the DA's office did and institute change. We want body cam footage to be released. We want officers to be held accountable. You know, and we want a fair reform of the internal review board. You know, a policy in place so that if someone's convicted of a crime, they can't continue to get paid. You know, that issue we would like to see resolved. So we're asking for those things, and I'll ask Bill Parker, Jeff's brother, his only sibling, to say a few words, and then we'll move forward. Thank you.
Good afternoon. I'm Bill Parker, and first I'd like to express our appreciation to Judge Pate and the District Attorney's Office for pursuing this. Obviously a difficult choice for them, and as I've said in the past, it was the right thing to do, and in this case they did. I will add that I sincerely hope that the United States Attorney General gets involved in these incidents in Huntsville, and that the Department of Justice takes appropriate action. Obviously, our elected officials in this city have chosen not to do so. And that's a formal request. I'm asking that to happen. Other families are here. In those cases, we may or may not see justice. This is a sad day for Huntsville, and I sincerely hope that this wonderful city that I grew up in most of my life takes appropriate action. Thank you. You guys have anything?
Hi, my name's Bill Parks. Jeff and I were best friends in high school, and I've stayed very close to him for many years. His fiancée Michelle is here as well, and I feel so much for her in this situation, for what she has gone through the last couple of years. As I've said before, I have to say I have to give so much credit to Janisha Begues, Justin Beckles as well. They had everything under control, just as Martin said. I don't know why Mr. Darby decided it was important for him to barge in as he did. I'm kind of perplexed by the way his attorney was, Mr. Tootin, I believe is his name, was trying to present things today, still trying to say that Jeff was the one basically at fault, apparently. Jeff was in a mental state. Jeff had issues. Jeff asked for help, and it's very confusing to think that by the book, apparently for Huntsville police, it's okay to barge in ferociously, militantly, whatever you want to call it, yelling and screaming at somebody who is asked for help. He may have had a gun to his head, but to say that he was showing an imminent threat to the police, Janisha Begues showed that that wasn't the case. She showed that, you know, she had everything under control. If everything could come out with the body cam footage at some point, everybody can see exactly what happened. And it's a reason why the jury didn't take long to find a murder guilty verdict. But, you know, just overall, sorry, it's hot out here. Look, there's no way there was something by the book that was followed by Ben Darby, William Darby, whatever his name is. It's ludicrous to think that barging in like that, yeah, and pointing a gun at somebody, you have to think poor Jeff in that situation. He's asked for help. He has a gun to his head. He's got somebody there who is calmly working with him. Everything seems to be going well, and out of nowhere, somebody comes yelling epithets at the police officers to try to change something. It's stunning to me that he must have been sitting there going, okay, things are good, okay, I'm good, and what, 11 seconds later, his face is blown off. Okay? Why? And all Robert Tootin had to say was, oh, well, he had 7 chances to take the gun down. He's in a mental state, folks. You're not dealing with somebody who was calm, collected, or anything. He didn't know what he was thinking in that moment. He asked for help. To say that Jeff was at fault, I'm sorry, it's just ludicrous. So, I don't mean to get on my soapbox about it. I'm not happy with as with Bill, I grew up here as well. I don't live here now, but Huntsville, think what in the world is going on for them to completely defend this guy, to sweep it under the rug as if nothing happened, and it's just a shame, in my humble opinion. So.
Say something about Officer McGee's.
Oh yeah, well, as I said before, I give her all the credit in the world.
We sincerely, we